What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. Rodrigo from Rod Studios, Miguel from Gatica Tattoo Studio.
Yo.
Right. I'll leave the description down in the box below. Today, we have a special guest today, Miss Dinah Goodman.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I can't complain. I woke up, God rose me up, so I'm here. I have a purpose, so all is good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, just a little bit. That's kind of hard. I own Boone Trail Fit Body Boot Camp. I'm also in the process of opening up a venue. I am supposed to look at the camera, right?
Oh, you can.
Oh, okay. And so I'm a military veteran. I did a little bit of law enforcement, did a little bit of everything, and I enjoy life. I'm trying to make it to my senior years. I have 3 more years until I'm there, so.
I always pick on her about that.
Oh, wow.
I told him it's coming for him, though. It's right around the corner. It goes fast, so.
Yeah. So you said you're opening up a venue?
Yes, I'd like to open up a venue because we have events and we're good at it, and we enjoy events.
Personally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so we have events and we're always leasing out spaces, and I love where we lease out. But I'm thinking we could have this on our own as well because we like doing this type of thing. So.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What's the time frame on that? When is?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
What's the time frame on that?
Well, I'm hoping within the next month or 2.
Okay.
We're in lease negotiations, so we'll see how that goes.
I want to get into that, but I kind of want to see like how the process of it. I want to shadow somebody.
Yeah. Well, you know who I shadow? They are event space specialists, and I'm actually on a group for them. And the man that created this space, ESE, Event Spaces Elite, they're very, very good. He's based in New York, but there's people from Maryland, from Atlanta, and you go through a course because no man is an island. We all have to learn, and it's best to learn from the experts instead of trying to do it on our own. So whenever I want to open up a new venture, I have one for the gym, a group of mentors for the gym, and I have one for the venue. Mm-hmm. So they guide us along the way. Anything that I get into, that's what I do. I always seek the experts to see what they say about it.
But you open this based on what you feel like your purpose in life is, right? Like not because of a money situation, but it's because like you feel like you're gravitating toward, okay, I need this, so I'm gonna open this.
What I do is I pray a lot, and I pray for our purpose, and then if it's something I want to do, I pray for God's will on it, and then I leave it to the point where if it's 100% your will, Lord, if I get up in the morning and I feel right about this, I'm going to step forward in faith and see where it takes me, and then I have the mindset, well, if it falls apart, then it's not meant to be, or I need to reroute. So I don't worry about anything because the resources will be there if it's meant to be, is the way I see it. The resources will come, the people that are meant to be in your life will come if it's meant to be. And that's how I operate my life, and that's where the success comes from. Yeah.
I love that answer.
Can you tell us a little bit about Fit Body?
Yes, okay, so Boone Trail Fit Body Boot Camp. So the Fit Body name in general is a franchise. So basically when we buy into it, we're buying into the name because it's a popular name. And I used to own a box gym in Texas. And so we decided, well, let's do another gym, but not a box gym this time. And we were looking at, what about a studio gym? And then all of a sudden these ads, you know how Facebook is, these ads start coming up. They're listening to us, you guys. These ads start coming up and they're like, own a studio gym. And I was like, let's check this out. And then they had a veteran buy-in where you can buy in and have a reduced rate. And then I started with that and I said, let's see how far this takes us. And we've had ups and downs, the pandemic it hurt, it was painful. But we managed to push through. We're not getting rich on it, but I'm enjoying helping people, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the camaraderie of everyone and learning new things, and I enjoy going in and seeing it and seeing all the people. And so it's meant to be, it's HIIT training, 30-minute HIIT training, and people love it, in, out, a lot of people that are in there, we do have people that are younger, but most people are in there above 40, and it's, people that they have kids, either they're in their teenage years or getting older, and they don't have a lot of time. They have to work still. They're not retirement age yet. We do have some retirees. And anyone can tell you when you're retired, you're busier than when you're working full time. And so what we do is we provide 30-minute HIIT training and workouts that are sustainable, that they can do on their own also, but we teach them and we modify depending on their level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did have a question and it slipped my mind. Oh, I was trying to, what was my...
I'm going to take my jacket off. It's hot in here.
Yeah. And there's water there. If you
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. There, that'll work.
So
I'm wearing a Rod shirt.
So basically, I guess, how was it going into the gym business? Like, because that's also one of the things that I want to get into, because I feel like I don't have time to go to the gym and exercise. So if I open up something and I go work, then I'm forced to be in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I understand that time limit. It's easy for even when we're in the gym to create time, but how it worked for me, I've always been athletic. I played sports when I was younger. When I was in the military, I did swimming. I did all kinds of sports. I got into bodybuilding. And so it just seemed like the natural course after I retired to go into. It's something that I knew, that I enjoyed. And I thought, we had a box gym. I'd work out in many gyms. I did bodybuilding. I did powerlifting, sports, taught different types of, I did weightlifting, gymnastics. I taught powerlifting, and I thought, well, we're not ready to retire. We retired from the military, but we're still young. We're not ready to retire yet. So I was like, okay, let's open up a gym. And we did. We liked it, and we can go and work out. And we have a home gym in our garage, but you start throwing stuff on the machinery and all that stuff. Best intentions. But if you want to get into the business, always have a mentor, and then start out and you do it small. So, and they recommended, and they were right. They said, just get a small place, no more than, they wanted no more than 2,000 square feet. I wound up getting I wound up getting 3,500 square feet, and get this and this equipment, and then so they show you how, and then after that you're using your knowledge with their knowledge, and then it's becoming it's almost like you don't even have to be there for it to grow. It's just becoming, all the people coming in and working out, all the things happening. But I have to say I was really pleased with what I learned from them. Our franchise ends, and then we'll be under a new name after that. So, and because it's Rod, our new name is going to be BuzzFit. Okay, BuzzFit Boot Camp. I wasn't going to give away the name yet, but so now we're not going to be part of the franchise anymore. We're going to be on our own, because we're pretty much doing things on our own anyway now at this point. But yeah, if that's what you're feeling called to do, you should do it.
I don't think it's a feeling that's what I'm called to do, but I feel like we have enough fast food restaurants. We have enough unhealthy things. Let's do something healthy.
Fast food restaurant. Yeah. Now, we love food now, but I'll never open a restaurant. It's too hard. My parents had a restaurant.
Yes, my parents did too. So I come from the food industry, and then I gained weight because I was in the food industry. Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah, and then I just started eating as much fried stuff because my mom had a Mexican restaurant. Everything was fried, fried beans, fried tortillas.
I've been eating there all the time.
Yeah, so I gained weight. I actually saw a picture that my sister took of me whenever I was working full time at the restaurant. I was like, bro, who is that? Like,
you're like, that's you.
my neck, I was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah.
About expose you.
For real.
Even owning a gym, I've gone from big to small. So because you know what happens, we start working instead of actually do it, and that's why sometimes I pop into the classes and do it. We start doing like the managerial part of it, and then we're not really doing the fun stuff that we got into the business for, like the working out part anymore. So it's easy to lose sight of what we're doing, and I gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. So I hear you.
Yeah, and yeah, like I just want to make it fun, and if I can, because even like right here, I'm trying to find the system where it can operate without me, so I can just come in and just have fun, just work.
Isn't that hard?
It is.
Because it's your baby. I have a hard time with that. I'm very hands-on in my business. And it's hard because it's your baby, and no one's going to run your baby like you. But we have to change that mindset and relinquish control. It's hard for me to relinquish control of anything. But I've learned that we have to, because we can't do everything by ourselves, and it's hard. And also, if you've had people in there a while that know what they're doing, just let them do it, come in and clean up once in a while, but we kind of have to step aside a little bit, and otherwise we're not going to have any quality of life. I work already 15 to 18-hour days. Oh, wow. It's too much. Yeah, you got a nice place here, though.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something that I'm interested in doing, is like the businesses that I go into, I want to go in with business partners, just give them my clear idea of what I'm expecting, but let them run it. Because if I would open another tattoo studio, I wouldn't partner up with the tattoo artist. I would partner up with the actual business owner who knows what they're doing. Yeah. So little things like that, I'm trying to I guess, change my mentality and find ways of doing things.
Yeah, it's hard when you create something to relinquish control. That's like me going into Rod's studio, trusting me to go into Rod's studio, and I know nothing about photography, So, I mean, it's hard because we have this mentality, if I'm not there, things are going to fall apart. Mm-hmm. And once in a while, things happen, but it's not going to fall apart, really. So, I mean, Rod pretty much runs the classes for me. So, but I miss it so much that I miss I'm afraid of losing touch with the people that come in, that I want to do the big, do the announcement part and all this other part. To connect, it's kind of hard that sense.
Dinah walks in, I just be like, you want to start it?
Yeah, I love that. And, you miss that part of the business where you're hands-on after a while. My husband told me the same thing. He was an air traffic controller. After you become a high enough level, you're no longer controlling the traffic. You're controlling the controllers that control the traffic. Mm-hmm. And then you lose your rating. It was in the military. You lose your rating, and then you're no longer rated for that. And then, so it kind of sets you up for failure a little bit on that note. So,
yeah. Who is someone you look up to?
My father, the kindest man I will ever meet in my entire life. Okay, he was such a good person, and he never had an unkind word to say about anyone. He was a down-home country boy, and the way he treated us and my mom was the patience of Job. I mean, the man had incredible patience up until his dying day. He died horribly, this disease, and it was just, he rededicated his life to Jesus right before he passed. I was thankful for that. But it seemed like the people that are always the nicest people have it the hardest to me. It's what it seems like to me. It just doesn't seem fair. But his work ethic was impeccable. Even if he knew he was getting nothing from it, the man would put in a lot of work to make sure that something was done right. And that's where I get my work ethic from. It has to be done right. And with integrity, I believe in having complete integrity, and that's who I admire the most is my father. And second to that, Mr. Rogers, because that's another man that I wish there were more Mr. Rogers in the world. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
I gotta look him up.
Look him up. He did Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for years. And it was a show, and he was responsible. Back then, there were some racial tensions, and he had one of his shows, which says a lot about the man. Amidst the racial tensions, he shared a foot bath, you can call it, with an African-American man, and back then it was unheard of to do that. And he was trying to set the stage there for people to come together. But he was so kind. Mr. Rogers was so kind. Patience of Job also. And if you look up a lot of things, he was philanthropist, he helped children, he did a lot of things. Yeah, so he did a lot of things for people. But look up Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
He has a movie, doesn't he?
Yeah, there was a movie. Okay. But the man was an incredible man. I mean, people like that. I like people with kind hearts, people that have genuine, gentle hearts. I gravitate towards people like that. Because my heart is hardened sometimes. And people like that make me more gentle, and I think that's why I like being around people with soft hearts.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I'm a believer in Christ too. I mean, I feel like sometimes it's just people. I'm like, bro, why?
People be peopling.
And then I'm like, then I have to be like, okay. Well, because my wife told me like, that is not very Jesus. Like you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's very hard to be like Jesus in this day and age.
Oh yeah. Because even customers come in here and they ask me some questions, I'm like,
just breathe. Woosah.
The other day we did a reel and he was pretending to be a customer. And the way he did it, he triggered me and I was like,
I had a cup and I was walking in and I was asking him, how much would you charge me for this? And then he gave me like a price. He was like $1,000, and I was like $1,000, and I was like, I got a friend that can do it for $100, and then that's what he got.
Isn't it true that your friends will treat you worse as a business than strangers? Friends want special treatment. I don't give special treatment, but people that you know are going to be the ones that usually try to take advantage and not, unfortunately.
Let's go together, bro.
Bro, I got a lot of friends, dude. I would not run a business if I gave everybody a discount on everything, so. Yep, true story.
What are some experiences you had that you want to share from the military?
Oh gosh, so many experiences. I was only 17 when I went in, and it was the best decision that my parents led me to. And I would recommend it for any young person. And it's not perfect. You'll get in some good units and you'll get in some not so good units, but the learning experience. I love the travel, some hard learning experiences. When you first get in, it's kind of a reality check, especially if you're under your parents' wing and it's the first job, you've ever had that's an official job. You waste money, you all go out to clubs and stuff. I didn't even start drinking to age 40, but I used to after age 40, but I really, you'd go out to clubs, go dancing, you spend your money on stupid stuff. And then you learn, okay, I need an education. I'm not going to have this money forever. And then you start learning through your mentors. And things happen that shouldn't happen. You learn the hard way not to put yourself in a bad situation. And that you're not in love. It's just, infatuation. And we make mistakes, when we're young like that. We can't trust our judgment when we're that young, unfortunately, which is why they say youth is wasted on the young. But yeah, I've had a lot of learning experiences in the military. I've dated people I probably should not have dated, done things I probably should not have done. And then as you get older, you start being more wiser. And then at the end of your career, you realize, I got to start saving more. I got to be more responsible. I can't go out to nightclubs all the time. I'm getting older. That's for people that, it's not for people that have to get up in the morning and have to do things and have responsibilities. And then you learn, you can't always trust your heart. You have to trust your head and what you learn, because your heart will deceive you, most definitely. Because we want what we want. The heart wants what the heart wants. So we think we're in love with this guy, or this is the one, and then you have to stop and take a moment back. So I'm not going to go into details, Rod, but yeah, there's some things I should not have done. And I'm thankful for the learning experience. I'm thankful for what the military has taught me. I'm very thankful for the discipline. I was in two branches. I was in the Army first, then the Navy. I retired out of the Navy. Go Navy! So, and my husband, he's retired Army. And I love the Army too. So, some of the rules they had to instill for a reason, sexual harassment, things like that. Because when you first joined, it was in the 80s, and there weren't as many boundaries as there are now. And women, we had certain jobs and roles, and they didn't realize at that time, or maybe they didn't want to realize that women could do so much more. On the same token, there was a protection mode that was supposed to be in place that wasn't at the beginning of when you have your military career. If you, as a young girl, attractive girl, and all the girls, and so you do have predators. Back then in the 80s, we had predators, and then when they instilled some of the rules that they have now for sexual harassment, it definitely helped a lot. Not saying it still doesn't happen, but it definitely curbed that a lot, and people were held accountable. And there are things you couldn't say that men could say to women back then. And so I'm thankful for that.
If there was a young person right now that is trying to decide between the Army or Navy, which one would you tell?
Oh, Navy, 100% Navy. And it's not that the Army is bad. I learned a lot from the Army, but the Navy was the first to diversify. Okay. It was the first. The Navy has a lot of firsts, and true, we do come from pirates. You know, the Navy started out there were pirate stuff, but the Navy has a lot of pride. That the people in it. Once you reach and when people make chief. When they go to make chief, you have to kind of go through another boot camp again. I didn't go through that because I never, I got out before. But it makes them, and they do that for a reason, because the chiefs have to be strong. And it should be that anybody can call any chief for a problem, even if it's not in their unit, and that chief will solve that problem. There's a lot of pride, and those chiefs, they have the chief's mess. So the Navy has that, where I felt the Army doesn't really have that for E6 and above, or E7 and above, so that's what I loved about the Navy. If I had a problem, even right to this day, I could call up any one of the chiefs that I had, or the senior chiefs or master chiefs, and I could say, I need help with this, and they would find the answer even if they didn't know it. There's a network of chiefs, and so that's why they make you go through that course before you become a chief. Now there's an E7 and there's a chief, and you can become an E7 if you don't make it through the course or whatever. But chiefs are respected. They're just respected in the Navy world because they're held to a high standard, and they're like second boot camp they have to go through to get there. Is no joke. I mean, they really put them through the mill. They expect leadership, they expect integrity, they expect honor. And so I've been fortunate. Every chief that I've met has been upstanding, so I'm sure there are people out there, because people are people, that are not so upstanding, but I've been very fortunate to be in that amidst, with those people. So.
Nice. What's like a goal that you would like to accomplish this year, 2025?
I would like to get our venue open so that we can have a whiteout party, which is the party before Labor Day. So I don't think they still have the rule now, but they used to have a rule: you don't wear white after Labor Day. So people would celebrate by having this whiteout party, where they'd have this party and everybody would be dressed in white, and it'd look like a cloud, and it would be before Labor Day. So last day you could wear white before Labor Day. And so I want that event. And then, I have the end of the year event, the Black Tie Affair Gala. And I'd like to have it at our own venue. Now, we've had it at Roland's Dance Studio every year, and I love Roland's Dance Studio. That's the only place that we would have it every year. It would be nice to get our own venue. We still go to Roland's because they have all these special events and stuff. They make these events that are fun, like a magical get-togethers, things like that, where people dress up. But I would like to have our own place and have some of that stuff at our own venue. And it'll be kind of a higher class venue. I don't want any wild parties or anything. I don't really do alcohol. And I just want it to be a nice place where people could go with their families for birthday parties, weddings, special events, military balls, things like that. So that's my goal for 2025, is to have our venue open. So,
yeah. Well, we're praying that it happens soon.
Please pray hard, because, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's going to be on God's terms, not mine. So be nice.
If you could go back, what's something that you would tell your younger self, let's just say 20-ish self, from now?
Wait to fall in love. Follow God. Don't lose track of God. Don't let the world guide you away, because it's easy to do. And there are so many influences for young people that it will take them away, because we don't yet have full reasoning skills when we're young yet. And we get that as we age, the wisdom. So I would say, Dinah, you're not in love with that man, you're infatuated with him. Don't get married. I got married for 6 months. 6 or 8 months. Don't get married. Don't go out to the nightclubs. There's nothing there for you. Have fun, but get closer to God. Read the Word. And you save yourself a lot of heartache, because there was some heartache in there in those early years. So, and a lot of trauma, and let God guide you. Okay, and it won't always be easy, but it'll be worth it in the long run. Don't follow your heart, follow your head. That's what I would tell people to do. Because the world says, follow your heart, but your heart will mislead you. It really will. We cannot rely on just our heart. No, we have to have emotion and we have to have compassion. I would also say the times that I hardened because of trauma, don't let it harden your heart. Have compassion. Let God break down those barriers for you, because it's so important, to get to the bottom of what is hurting you and to move forward from there. That's what I would tell people. That's what I would tell the young me. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's some good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. This is definitely have a lot of wisdom from my mistakes. So if I could give my younger self that, it would be like, think with your head.
Yes.
Up here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's very good advice.
We're so passionate when we're young. We're so, what do you call it? We think we're invincible.
Right.
And we do some of the things that just break us apart later on. But, and I wish we could take that passion with our head now, the wisdom that we have now, and use it, because we lose our passion when we get older too sometimes. And we have to reinvigorate that. When you're young, the beauty of youth is we have that, I'm going to do this and nothing's going to stop me, and we need that when we're older, because, once bitten, twice shy. Once you're bitten and you're afraid, I'm afraid, Lord, I'm afraid that that's going to break me, then we don't want to, we're afraid to try out new things. So I would say for my youth, talking to my older self, have passion. Keep going, keep that passion, keep it alive,
It's funny that you say that, because that's something that I really try every day to do, is that motivation that I feel now, I'm trying to put it into everything that's going to build my future up. So the photography, videography, or anything that I can just learn, I try to put it into that instead of being all over the place.
Well, what I learned through the years, how they say motivation, discipline trumps motivation any day.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we're not motivated, it's our discipline that's going to wake us up in the morning. So making ourselves go through a series of habits, getting up early, getting up early. Oh, I want to sleep in. Nope, get up early, workout, that's that discipline will carry, for me anyway, it carries me through where motivation doesn't because I have ADHD, I have a brain injury, my brain is all over the place, so I have to rely on that discipline to get me there. Otherwise, I'd be depressed in bed somewhere, honestly. So that discipline has got to carry me through. I got to get up in the morning. I got to work out. I got to do this. Oh my gosh, I got to do this paperwork. I hate doing paperwork, by the way. I got to do this paperwork. But yeah, you're doing great. I think Garage Studios seems like it's doing great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. How's it been for you?
It's been great. Especially this starting this week. I think I'm gonna be busy every weekend till June, July.
That's good.
It's it's I enjoy it. So
seems like you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm living a good life. The fitness, and then this what I got going on for me. Couldn't get any better than that. But I'm still striving to, get better overall as a person.
I've known you since you were 19.
18 actually, because I turned 19 after.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what, 7 years?
7 years.
Isn't that crazy?
I turned 21 at the gym.
Yeah, he turned 21 at the gym. It's been a pleasure seeing you grow into the man that God wants you to be. It's been a pleasure because, seeing you developing all this stuff, it's nice. It is nice. So, and you've seen me grow also as a boss. Yeah. He's seen me grow too. I was a hot mess when I first.
It's dirty.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still a little bit obsessive compulsive. I'm like, oh my God, and my house is a mess, but my business, I'm like, oh God, okay, clean up.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Have you had the gym?
Actually, he says 7 years because, there's a period of time before we actually opened, and then we opened up in 2019. And so it's been June 2019. We're coming on our 6th year, but we've like had the license and all that stuff before. You have to have it like before you start the business, you know. So, but yeah, I actually opened. It's been since 2019, and you know, so when we end the franchise, I'm not renewing the franchise. I'm thankful for what I was taught, but we're going into that next phase, you know, for ourselves. So. It's going to be bee-related theme because bees save the planet. You know, we can't survive without bees. So, yeah.
Okay.
How long have you guys been open?
Since February 2021.
Okay.
So going on 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
It goes fast, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's been a fun ride though.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, ups and downs. I mean, it's just what it's called. Tattoo industry go through a slow season, and it's affected some of our artists. Basically, if you don't have clientele, you can be affected worse than others. But yeah, it's been good so far.
I've been learning. I tell Rod this all the time. So I go through. You know how we have to learn from people. So one of my mentors, his name is Adil Chowdhury. He owns Empirely, and I write ebooks on the side. And so that's one way. We have to learn, and then I do T-shirts on the side. Because we're not getting rich at the gym, but I love it's more of a ministry, you know. So we have to learn to do like the side hustle things that we can do in our building, which are great. But you guys are artists, and not everybody can do this. Look at some of this art. I mean, I love art. It's amazing. And so you guys are experts at art. I mean, it's one thing to take art and put it on canvas, which is hard enough, but putting it on somebody's skin to make it look like the way you want it to look. So, I mean, that's amazing to me. That's definitely an art form. So.
Yeah, it's just a lot of studying. Like, that's it. It's just a lot of studying. And I feel like it came because I was just bored at class. Yeah, all this just came because I was bored in class. So, yeah. So. Did
you do art when you were younger?
I did. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Back in Mexico, because I came here at the age of like 4. I remember my mom. She would always do like crafts, and I remember she would always give me Play-Doh, and that was my main form of craft. I guess was just Play-Doh work. Yeah. So.
Well, they say if you're good in one craft, you generally can learn to do other crafts and get good at it. Yeah. You know, for artistic things I was an artist when I was younger too, and I haven't drawn since then. You know what I think happens with artists? I think the world beats it into you. It's not a real job. You know, you can't do it. My parents, you know, they wanted us to be doctors and lawyers. And back in those days, you know, my parents are boomers, were boomers, and well, they still are. My dad's passed, but my mom's still alive. But back then, it was like, find something responsible. And really, to be honest with you, it's a job. It's a good job. But I think the world had to progress to that, to realize that you can have a great job and be an artist. And you know, the thing about art, I think if we deny ourselves that artistic, bringing out that artist in us, it makes us into a machine. We're gifted. God gifts us with these certain gifts, and art is one of them. And I think we deny ourselves because we don't think it's responsible, or, you know, and it really is. It's a gift. And it's what makes us human, you know, to have that artistic, you know. So if you look at people like Adolf Hitler, imagine if he did art, continued his art. He was an art student. But so I think we can become real monsters, real robots if we don't allow ourselves the pleasure of the music and the paintings and the art world. So, you know, like I will make myself look at, or I'll make myself. I get art and I make myself look at it, you know, and because there's a right, left-sided brain, and we have to stimulate both. You see, so. I think what you're doing is.
Thank you. So. No, I do feel like there's art in everything we do, though. Like opening up a business, you have to be creative. That's the main thing of expression, creating. That's what we were made to do, is just create. Like opening up a business, you're creating something too. So I see some people who don't think they're artists, and I'm like, bro, like you created something. You created a whole business that's doing well. Like, what do you mean you're not an artist? Like, yeah, like basketball players, the way they play, they finesse. They're what's called the what? No, I mean, I guess just the ball, like the way they finesse the ball, like the what is it called?
The wrist movements and the spins, yeah.
Yeah, like the way they spin the ball, like.
Yeah, they can do it perfectly so that it goes in where it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So I feel like it's just creating. Like that's what we're meant to do as humans. We're just meant to create. Whether it's art, whether it's music, poetry, photography, videography, businesses.
Yeah, photography is definitely an art because you have to see the vision. You have to have an eye for, okay, this is what the rest of the world sees. This is what I see in there, and then bring that so that other people can see what you're seeing. You know, why it's special. If you look at some of the top photographers, what's that guy Ansel? Starts with an A. He did the mountains and he did the beautiful wildlife photography. Because whereas some people would go and look and say, oh, that's beautiful. An artist would look at that and say, but this part right here with the way the sun is shining, wow. Or the way, you know, when you did those pictures of the kids, you know, and then so other people can look at that and say, look at that beautiful child with the light coming down. You know, it brings people happiness to see things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. To capture a special moment in a certain way.
Yeah.
And keep it there.
Yeah. If we can tap into people's emotions, I think any business we do will succeed, because that's where we have to, they say that we have to find people's pain, and then we have to bring that pain out and let them experience something that'll change that pain to something beautiful. You know, so like with say a tattoo artist, you know how they get the art of their relatives and their loved ones, and there's a little bit of pain in everything we feel, because if we lost that person, how would we feel? You know, there's a little bit of pain and protection. So you're bringing that out when you put that artwork on somebody, and then when you're doing your photography, they're seeing their own child there, and there's a little bit of pain there because they're looking at their child. My child is going to be grown up one day. What's the world going to be like for them? And then they're looking at this innocent. But here they are innocent now, and you've captured that innocence, or you've captured that artwork on them.
See, that's why I wanna be able to have a system where I can just get paid passive income, and that pays for everything, and then I can come tattoo for the love of it. And I can go do photography and not have to worry about money, like, because I just want to create.
If you want to create, you should do the ebooks where you put it online, like you do. You can do coloring books. You can do all kinds of things. AI makes it easier, and then you put your own touch to it. So it's, you know, it's AI mixed with yours, and then you can sell like books on tattoos. You know, one of my favorite books I was telling Rod was a graffiti book, and it's an old book that I got. I think I saw it it was the 80s or the 90s. And this lady actually went in and interviewed the graffiti artists who were gang members, okay? And they had to create this art, they said, like this feet away from the train, you know, that they were doing it on or whatever. And everything they did, unfortunately, most of them are passed away now. But you have to, I would recommend, I can give Rod the information, but you create these ebooks or these videos on how to do certain, you have to create, this is where it's at now. You have to teach people how to do what you do. Like they're not going to know how to get in there and do the art, but you can show them, you can set up a video and say, this is how I do this design, this is how I do this. And then it'll capture the people that like that certain genre, that certain discipline, you see, and that's where, so mine is fitness, you know, books on fitness and books on the people connection and running the business. Some people do it on art, some people do it on sewing, and then you sell the books and you make the videos on Teachingly, and then you know, sell it and then let people from all over the world, and then you can have, they even have the AI, I do all this in one platform. They even have the AI that can change your voice to, you can even get an avatar, you can change your voice to a foreign voice. So people in Europe or people in Africa or people, you know, in different continents can.
What is the platform again?
It's Empirely. I use Empirely. I'll get you the information if you, or I can give it to Rod.
Like
so it has everything where you can do landing pages to send out emails. You can write like ebooks where you can do videos on it. You can create your own QR codes. You can create He's got Capturely's coming out. If you become, I'm a tycoon, so I get like everything's free from the time I get it. All these apps are free in it, and it's worth it because I've used. I'm slowly changing all my newsletters. You send out newsletters. You know, you can tell people on the newsletter about your art, and you send it out via email, and you post it, and then people start associating you with oh yeah, they have a newsletter that I just read about this form of tattoo, or in this newsletter they talked about this tattoo artist in California or overseas, and you can write all this different stuff in there and let the AI do most of the work, the stuff we don't like to do, and then you use your expression in it, and that's the stuff you do like to do in it. Okay. So I'll get you the information, but it's amazing. And his name is Adil Chowdhury. He's Indian heritage. He lives in England. And he started out working at McDonald's, but he always had like what do they call it, an entrepreneur mindset. Nothing was ever satisfied him. He had to move on. But he got the discipline. He still talks about working at McDonald's, you know, how that's the foundation. When you start out working, you develop your foundation for work, and then you move on from there. And he was never satisfied. Got fired a couple times. He was never satisfied. He always moved on. We all got fired. All the great people got fired. I got fired before, hey, because you're thinking outside the box, and you know. So, but yeah, I'll give him the information and give to you. So it's great. And then you just use it, and then all you have to do is and it has videos, tutorials, and you learn how to use it. I would tell anyone this because I think everyone should make money with resources they have. In AI, everyone's scared of AI, but AI can make you money if you learn how to use it. It can really make you money if you learn how to use it. It's a learning curve. You have to just go through the videos and learn how to use different things, learn the proper words to use, proper prompts for certain things. But yeah, so, and we didn't have that in the 80s and the 90s and all that. And the fact that they have it now, it's like, you know, I said, now after my head injury, you guys decide to create this stuff. But it actually helps me with the head injury and all. But there's so much you can do because you know, and you too, you know so much. You guys know so much in your field that there's so much you could share with the world with that. Don't keep it here. Share it with people, you know.
Yeah, because I have a YouTube channel and I haven't posted anything because I don't know what to post.
Yes.
But I feel like that would be because the channel is for my son basically. So art and tattooing, right? I want him to know that, but I don't know what to teach him. Yeah. So I guess I can ask AI what I should be teaching him.
AI will research for you, do everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it will do everything for you. And Claude AI I'd say, is the best. Most entrepreneurs prefer Claude because Claude will go above and beyond us. I think you spell it CLAUDE, Claude.ai, as far as AI goes. Now, they have AI in everything, and I think Empirely is going to be using some of Claude's AI in theirs, integrating it. Claude, I think that's it, yeah.
That's the first one that came up.
Claude by Anthropoid. Oh. It's Claude.ai. Yeah, I think that is. Wait, what? Does my icon look like that? I'd have to look at it on my computer. But I'll look. Ouch. I have to look. Yeah. But I was going to say, there's different AIs, right? They're not all the same, right? And there's ones that'll do drawings for you that are really nice. I've been studying it for a while now. On Empirely, they kind of keep you on your toes, you know, because Adil is such a go-getter. He's a good mentor. And he shows us the chart. This is where we're at now, March. What have you created? You need to create, you know, so it's good to have someone there. Even, I'm 57, I still need mentors, right? It's good to have someone to push us a little bit because we don't want to get out of our comfort zone. It's safe here, you know, like I'm sure it feels safe in here. It feels safe in my gym. I like it in my gym, it feels safe. But we have to venture out and we have to get out of our comfort zone. It feels very weird and uncomfortable. It's the only way to grow. He did it. Now he's driving a Lamborghini. I would never get a Lamborghini, but he's driving Lamborghinis and all that stuff, and he's very humble, so down to earth. So
you're too comfortable in here. Go tattoo outside.
Right? No, actually, I feel like I do well being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is it's a good place for me to be at because I used to anything I do, like I'll probably be the first one to try something out. Yeah, just because I want to see how everything works. And then I can teach somebody else how to do it. Yeah.
That's good that you know, and you're young too, right? I'm assuming.
33, I think.
Okay, so you're young, pretty relatively young. So you're at a good age group right now, the 30s, right? Yeah. You're at that age group where people will take you seriously because you're not in your 20s anymore.
Yes.
You know, so they'll take you, because when you're young, people don't take you seriously. They don't take us seriously. I remember not being taken seriously, and I had all these ideas in my head. I hated that feeling, right? And I think that I've been guilty of making younger people not feel, I apologize to all young people if I did that, not feel like they're, because when we're older, we have this accomplishment syndrome, some of us do. And you're like, well, I'm at this stage now. And then you're humbled, and then you're like, oh crap, there's always somebody that's higher up that knows more, you know?
So what would you say successful is? Because this is a debate me and my wife had. Like, she was like, do you think you're successful? I was like, I don't think I'm successful. Like, I feel like I've achieved things on my way to trying to do something else. Like, or I guess like on my big path, I've achieved a lot of things, but I don't think I'm successful. If I was to, I think you can only see success as hindsight. Like, I don't know, that's my thought.
Success has changed for me over the years, what I can do. When I was young, I wanted to be an actress and a singer. To me, that was success because you see them out there. It's these big people out there. The closer I get to God, that's not success. What the world does is not success. To me, now at my stage in the game, success, and it's changed through the years, but right now, at the point I'm at, it's pleasing God and doing His will. That's success to me, because everyone has a different definition of success. And so for some people, success might be getting off drugs and alcohol. I'm clean for a year. That's success. That is success. You know, or, you know, I finally have my picture in a gallery, art gallery. That's their success, right? So it's measured differently depending on who you are, you know. So, but success for me is if I do God's will. Because if I get too caught up in the world, you can lose sight of what success is, and it can mean, you know, for some people they look at these artists or these people that are doing all this crazy stuff in the world and they make billions of dollars, and for a lot of people that's kind of like dangling a carrot in front of these young people, and it's the bling, it's the shininess of it. But as we get older, I think we learn that your success, having a good family that you loving your family, being there for your family, the people that you love, you know, as they get older, to me that's success. Having good, honest work and knowing that you can hang a hat on that's success. You know, at the end of the day, having loved someone so tremendously in your life, to me, that's success. It's not money anymore. It's not having fancy cars or anything. And sometimes you can see plenty of rich people that are unhappy. Plenty of people that have everything that are unhappy. They don't have love in their life, you know. There's a lot of people out there that have, and there's people that are happy when they're rich because they do have that. But there are a lot of people that have a lot of money that they're alone. They don't have people that love them. They don't have a family to go to. You know, they don't have any direction in life. You know, they're like, what am I doing this for? And they're trying to hold on tight to that money and to that knowledge. You know, they don't want to teach younger people. They need to teach younger people, first of all. But a lot of people like to hide that knowledge and keep that knowledge themselves. Like you can take it to the grave with you and you can't. Teach the younger people. It might benefit you when you're older when they know it. You know, but yeah, so success for me has changed through the years. So I'd say you're successful based on what I see you know?
Yeah, like I would say that I'm successful, but not in the sense of accomplishments, like things like this. Like, I guess I'm walking toward success because to me, it's like now he's doing, bringing people closer to God, the people who I can, my family, bring them closer to God. That's basically it. Like everything else, I guess leaving my imprint in the world, and that imprint being that person is feeling better with themselves or they're getting closer to God.
And that's success.
Yeah, and with that, I feel like I am. Yeah. That is bringing me success. Yeah.
And to me, that's success. And the reason for it is you're doing something a lot of other people wouldn't. You're sharing what you know with them, you know, to make them better. You know, so to me, that's success. That's doing God's will. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And because a lot of people, and unfortunately Christians do this too, where, have you ever heard the saying, you're so heavenly, you're not any earthly good? Some people can be so heavenly that they're not any earthly good. And meaning, we're supposed to help people on earth, and bring people closer to God. And if you're doing that, you're doing what God wants you to do, sharing the word with people. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I mean, church is supposed to be for the sick, right? It's supposed to be for people that need God. Salvation's not for us. We already have it, right? We're supposed to share it with other people.
Yeah.
So, we're supposed to share that with people. And so to me, that's wonderful. It's so easy to get caught up when I got to work. I work a lot. Oh, I got to get this done. One thing I had to relearn recently from watching, a podcast, Kanoi, she's from Hawaii, but she does this Bible teaching every day. One thing I've had to learn was when you actually it was Billy Graham, because I learned a lot from her too, but it was an old Billy Graham sermon. He said, when you wake up in the morning, what are you reaching for? I think he did it before he passed, it was in 2000 or something. Are you reaching for your cell phone? Is that the first thing we reach for in the morning is our, this? And I was reaching for my cell phone. When we get into work, the first thing we're doing, get on a computer and doing that. When we're talking to people, how are we talking to people? What are we presenting first? What's the center of our life? And for a lot of people, and Christians included, unfortunately, and I've been guilty of this before, we'll have our center, which it could be work, could be whatever our God is at that time, and work can become a God. Anything can become a God if it takes away from God. And then God's over here in one section, and then, your other ventures are over here, where God should be the center, and all this other stuff should be secondary on the outside. So the first thing we should reach for is God. And I think one time we get so busy that we lose sight of that. Because I was guilty of doing this. Oh God, what do I have to do today? And it takes us away. It's a ploy from the world to take us away. So I think we just focus on the first thing you reach for is God, and that's you do your prayers and your devotionals first, and that starts your day. Who can I reach today? And I think I'm getting closer to that, but I'm a ways off as well. So I have to deprogram what I've learned. So. I've learned to work. Don't stop, work.
Yeah. No, it's hard because at the end of the day, I still want to be able to make a living for my family. And just got to make sure that I can trust that the Lord's going to provide. And then just, like I said, just try to affect at least one person a day. Whether it's here, whether it's wherever I go, whether it's something I post. Yeah, but I still don't want... I don't want people to feel like I am, too good for them. That Christian who is too good for them. Like, oh no, you're doing this. You're too up there. You're not relatable to me. You don't know what I mean. They're like, bro, I've been through the same thing.
See, God uses people as a testimony. Yeah. He uses our hardships and where we used to be as a testimony. So that's why I don't speak bad about. I do sometimes. I've been guilty of it before in the past, and I've had to repent of it. But when we see people and we automatically make a judgment about them, and now with the vision that I have now, I say, I don't know if God's going to save this person, use their testimony later, because He could very well do that. He's done it before. So everybody's a testimony that turns to the Lord. Our past, we can say, I can tell people what not to do, definitely, based on what I've done. But
you also are very, relatable to people. Yeah. So women, you'll be able to talk to them about it. Men, I'll be able to talk to them too. And in the industry I'm in, I'm like, oh, you're a tattoo artist? You're pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, people, because automatically assume that tattoo artists are down to earth, so.
Yeah. Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think you're definitely successful. I mean, you're out here, you're not only running the business, but you, in your mind, you have to help people. A lot of people don't even have that in their mind. A lot of people are going about their day doing their thing. You have that mindset already. I need to help people. So, come on now. A lot of people don't have that.
Yes, I guess so. But it's just the way I was raised too. We're not raised to be greedy. I wasn't raised to be greedy. I have enough. I can bless the next person. So
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. The older I get, the less stuff I want. I'm trying to get rid of stuff in my house. I don't want a lot of stuff. I want to be able to go to Hawaii with nothing but a backpack on.
Yeah, just experience this.
Yeah, just experience it. We used to live there, so it's beautiful over there. Nature, to me, what brings me closer to God is nature. I want to be around nature. You know, there's a tendency to want to hide out from the world, and I know we have to preach to the world. But if God didn't tell me different, which He is telling me different, I would want to hide out from the world and just be in nature, and that's it. Not be anywhere else, you know, just surrounded by beauty. People have a way of turning us off on people. So.
How do you feel about like the way monks live, like just out in nature, like just? You know,
I have respect for the fact that they're disciplined, but I personally feel like we have to share the Word of God. That's the whole purpose, is to share the Word of God with people. And if we're hiding away somewhere, yeah, it's good for us because we're spending time with the Lord, but what about all those people we're supposed to preach to? You know, there says in the Word, go forth, you know, and hope I get it right. This
one thing I want to do is like just go in isolation by myself, like no phone, no nothing for a good week and a half. Kind of like monks do. But then I have a wife and I have a newborn son.
What you need is a prayer closet.
A whole week. No, but I would just love to be in nature, hear rainfall, hear the frogs in the background, like just.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I'd probably create my own little retreat.
You should do that. We did that in our backyard. If you create your own retreat and everything, you want to go back there, it'll bring you closer, because nature has a way of making you see God, because you're seeing, okay, these leaves, I mean, obviously that's creation. That's creation. Come on now, look at this beauty. It calms you down. And then meditating I have to calm down because I'm very hyper. And sometimes I feel like He's saying, you need to slow down. You're doing too much. You're moving too fast. You need to slow down. Yeah. So you seem like you have a natural calm nature about you, and that's a blessing. It really is. Rod has that too. He's calm. I used to always think that Rod, because you just sit back and observe people, and that's a good thing.
You're a psychopath.
He's a psychopath. That's funny. Are you a psychopath, Rod? He can be. I know for sure. Yeah. We all have those things that set us off.
Right.
I like learning. I like listening, observing, learning it.
Yeah, me too.
That's wise though, because then you know, if I'd have done that when I was your age, instead of being as much of a reactionary, I probably could have saved myself some heartache. Just sitting back and observing. I used to fight when I was younger, but sitting back and observing, I was nice too. So it was a really weird combination. But you know, when you sit back and observe, and then you're like, don't do it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Dinah, it's not worth it. And I was like, okay. Calm down, just move back a little bit. So, yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to keep you far from David. What time are you supposed to meet him?
Oh, I'm probably not now because I forgot that Susan's getting food for us, so.
Check, what were you going to say?
So, I don't know. Good, I don't know.
So what's like some advice you would give to younger people?
So I would definitely say you have to know God. You have to know Jesus in your life. There is no other way, because this world is going to chew you up and spit you out and leave you to the wolves. And there is God. He does exist. And I've been through moments where I thought, Lord, where are you right now? I feel so far away from you right now. That would be the first thing I would say. And then after that, once you have that foundation, don't take yourself so seriously. You know, it's not that serious. You're going to recover from this. Whatever trauma you have, you're going to recover from this. It's not the end of the world, okay? Yeah, you face trauma. Okay, so now, you know, they say there's joy. Joy comes in the morning. You have to keep moving forward. We can't just give up. Just keep going. Whatever your goals are, keep going. Don't stop. People are going to tell you no. And older rich people are going to keep you from knowing what they know, I've noticed. Still be persistent. You don't have, there's a saying, I wish I made this up, but I didn't. You don't need permission to grow. Okay? You need nobody's permission to grow. You grow, you keep going, because the world will try to stop you. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, come on. Who are you kidding? Yes, you can do it. Keep growing, keep moving forward, okay? Take God with you everywhere. I always tell my family, take God with you. Where are you going? Orlando. Take Jesus with you.
There you go.
just to make sure. But yeah, I would definitely say that. Don't listen to what the world says when they say you can't do it, because you can do it, and you're going to see that you can do it, and you're going to be successful at it too. To keep going.
It's good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Take Jesus with you.
Right, I am, bro. I am. I pray every morning. I try to read my Bible every morning. Pray.
I started doing that. I started waking up early and just having like a nice, quiet, peaceful time for 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, depending on
my routine was I woke up like at 8, 9. I would drink my coffee. I would read my Bible for like a good 45 minutes. And
that takes discipline, yeah.
I actually enjoy it. Like I enjoy my quiet time, and then I would start getting ready for work. And then my son was born, and now, while I'm reading my Bible, I can hear what's that lady's name? Dang, she's a famous YouTuber that is for kids. Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel.
Yeah, I can hear her in the background over there, and I'm over here with my coffee trying to read my Bible. Okay. 15 minutes is good. No, but I enjoy it. And it's just that's one of the things that I feel guilty is for not praying as much as I used to, not going to the gym as much as I used to. But at the same time, I know I have a family, and I'm trying to spend time with my son and make sure that he's affected by my presence also. It's
good that you're there for your son and teaching him how to be a man that he's supposed to be, because the world is going to throw all kinds of craziness at him.
And that's one thing that I have to, my wife, she was called, I think that she sees him like her baby, but at the same time, like, no, like he's, at the end of the day, he's still a man. Like the world's gonna chew him up and throw him back out, and I just gotta teach him how to bounce back up. Like, and whenever times get tough, you know who to go to. Go to the Lord.
Especially in this day and age, we need strong men. Mm-hmm. We need masculine. We need to bring masculine back. Not going to apologize. We need that.
No, yes.
This whole thing where people shame men for being masculine, I don't agree with at all. I think that men are protectors, and you're protecting your wife, and you're also teaching your son how to be a man and how to resist what the world has, that's going to throw at him, and that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Your presence definitely is needed. A lot of people didn't have fathers. When I was a probation and parole officer, I would ask, I would talk to them. I wanted to know, how did you get to this point? And a lot of them said they didn't have a father. A lot of them said they did not have a father. And they were mad at their father. They were mad at their father. And then you see a cycle, and I said, well, you have a son, don't you? Do you want your son to be mad at you and to think the same way? It would bring people to tears. And they would say, no, I don't want my son to feel the same way about me as I felt about my dad, It really is a cycle. So it's great that, I was blessed to have a good father figure, but I know a lot of my friends did not. So that's wonderful that you're there with him. So you'll get in and work out. Definitely work out.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my son.
Trust me, I went from like working out every day to like whenever I can now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just rather spend time with my son too, so it's like.
Yeah, it's fun too. I enjoy it.
Your son looks just like you.
He does. Yeah, he does, bro.
Little Rodrigo.
Cynthia say I bully him too much.
Bro.
Yeah, because I just be like slapping his cheeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want him. It was funny because we had a talk the other day, and she told me that I'm gonna be his first bully, and I was like, yeah, I think I am, so that way he can know what, like, whenever he starts going to school, he's not gonna get the baby treatment. He's gonna get the real world treatment. You know what I mean? So with other people, so I want him to be a step ahead from what he's gonna. He already knows what to expect.
Yeah.
So.
And women, we are nurturers, so it is in our nature to want to baby kids and baby young people and basically baby everyone. And so it's good to have a man around because it offers that balance. Because, where, okay, so he has his mom and she takes care of this and that, but now he has to learn to be a man. And, so that, he can learn, like you said, Because you're right, when he gets out there and there are bullies, you know, it's good that he knows resistance. Like my parents, since we were little, taught us about sexual assault, they taught us about bullying, they taught us about everything. Things that people would not tell small kids, my parents taught us at a young age. And they also taught us it's okay to fight an adult if they're doing something wrong. It's okay to scream. It's okay to say this person's doing wrong. You know, and they taught, because you know how like people used to teach back in the day, don't tell anyone, and they used to keep secrets back in the day. And I always taught my niece and nephew, secrets are not from God. God doesn't keep secrets. If someone tells you it's a secret, that's a bad thing. We don't do secrets, you know, because whenever people say that, why are you trying to hide this, you know, so.
One thing that I'm conflicted about, because yes, I want my kids to be able to tell me everything, right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't want them to be in school snitching on his classmates just to try to be the teacher's pet.
Oh yeah.
Snitches get stitches.
Snitches get stitches, yeah.
So that is one thing that I'm conflicted about, because I don't want him to, like I said, try to be just throwing everybody under the bus just because he want to be liked by the higher ups. But I also want him to be honest with me and not keep secrets from me. Like, be open to me about stuff.
It's hard in school, I imagine. I think I'm so old that we forget sometimes what it was like when we were young, but, you know, we have that insecurity, you know, and then there's a point, at some points, like, especially if we're out of our element when we're real young, that we don't know where to go, which direction to turn. Am I supposed to do that? We don't know who we are, and you have to learn that through time. But yeah, you're right. Like my parents taught us, you know, we weren't allowed to give our phone number out. We weren't allowed to have anybody at our house. My parents did not play that. They were very, very strict. We weren't allowed to tell people our family, you know, things that happened in our family, because that was, you know, within the house. And that's good if you have a good family, but it's not good if they're a bad family, you know. And they're doing bad things. But yeah, then they taught us that the only thing is, my mom used to tell us, you're better. My mom's a brown lady, okay? She's Egyptian. I'm a brown person. So she used to teach us, you're better than her. And I think she did this because she didn't want people saying, you're less than, you know. So she would say, you're better than them, you're better than them. But now I realize we're all the same, we're not better. But it was just her survival instinct with her kids, you know. She was an Egyptian that was raised, you know, very poor and had a very hard life, went through a lot. So I understand where she's coming from, why she was so tough with us. Didn't want her kids to experience the same thing.
You know, with Natalie, and I'm very proud of Natalie. And at first when I started doing this, not a lot of people agree with me, but I was myself around Natalie, so Natalie could be herself around me. Because whenever, like for example, the way that I grew up with my mom, I feel like I had like a double personality, because my mom would like baby me a lot, and she would always see the good in me. So I would save all the bad for school, and I was always good around her. You know what I mean? But I want Natalie to be her fully true self around me. So like, I'll play the music that I like. Some had cuss words, some didn't, but I would tell her, hey, this is cuss words, this is bad, this is good, etc., etc. So she knows cuss words, but she knows not to say them, or she chooses not to say them because she knows what's good and what's bad. So yeah, like I just want her to be herself and be able to tell me like things that, for example, I didn't tell my mom, because she always saw me as like a good person.
Yes.
So.
I think I'm with the women on this one.
Like, I know I did the same thing, because I remember the first time somebody came to my mom about something that I did. They were like, she was like, my son? He wasn't my son. Like, not my son. But yeah, I think I want, because my son's name is Gabriel, I want Gabriel to be able to tell me anything. Whether he got in trouble because of a girl, like, come on, bro, I've been there too. Like, because my wife had this conversation with me, like, what would you do if you saw Gabriel watching porn? I was like, I'll talk to him. Like, well, I didn't, but yeah, my thing would be, I would talk to him. I wouldn't get mad at him, because it's just, he got caught up in the world. Like, yeah, like, we've all done that.
It'll make you go blind.
Right? Well, I'm pretty sure that's what she wanted to hear. But yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna just talk to him, because like, I want him to know that I'm not mad at him, and I've been there before. I've been weak before. It happens. It's okay. Yeah. Like, life is not gonna stop because of one mistake. Like you're gonna.
We're human, and we're not perfect beings, So we've done things, I wish I could take back things I done, but we can't. We ask for forgiveness, and I learned through the years that, and that's why I tell my niece and nephew, anything that takes you away from God is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. Anything, and God, the Holy Spirit, and God cannot be in a place where the Holy Spirit can't be in a place where there's pornography. He can't be in a place where there's, evil things so anything keeps us away from God. But I always tell them also, live life. You will make mistakes. Just ask for forgiveness and don't try not to do it again. So we're gonna make mistakes. And I was like chastising you, but I've had to stop myself from cussing because I'm a sailor. And unfortunately that's what we do. And I've had to stop myself because sometimes I realize that's not of God, and that's and I'm trying to get close to God. But I've done it in front of my niece and nephew before, and then I have to say, oh God, that's not right. I gotta stop doing that. But ironically, they don't cuss, so it's kind of weird.
I think it's that thing where if it's so hidden away from them, they have that curiosity of doing it or getting it from them. And that's why with Natalie, I was like, this is bad. I'm gonna let you choose whether you want to do that or not. And she already knows she doesn't have curiosity on it. She decides not to because like this. Why would I? Kind of thing.
She's going to be living. I think the fact that they know that you guys are strong men, strong fathers, that in itself is so important. Knowing that I had a strong father, I felt protected. No matter what happened, I felt like I can go to my dad about it. She's going to know that she can come to you, and Gabriel's going to know that he can come to you if something happens to you're his dad. So I think that's very important, because you guys are trying to live up to what a good man is supposed to be, what a godly man is supposed to be. And I think that as a girl, as a woman, as a little girl, my dad was my world. And, he was like everything to me. And even when I joined the military, I thought about, I don't want to disappoint my dad, because I could see like, what would he think if, and I thought about my dad a lot during a lot of circumstances, and times where my dad had to get tough with me. Now look, Dinah, this is wrong and you're doing the wrong thing. And I don't agree with this, and here's why. And then I was like, oh man, he's right. My dad is right. I may be 25 or 24, but he's right, because it's good having a father figure there. So, and a lot of people I know wish that they'd had that strong father figure growing up. So.
Yeah, right. I had to kind of find my way.
We all do.
Yeah, because I grew up with my mom. I didn't have my dad around, so there's a lot of stuff that I wish that I would have learned earlier on. Simple things. He could have said too. Huh? That only he could have told you too. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, but now that I'm 26, now it's on me. I can't blame him no more for not knowing things. And now I can go out and learn it myself. Yeah. But it would have definitely helped if he was there to learn it earlier, and then make better choices.
Did you see him later in life?
I did. We met up. It was on a trip. I was going to California. Yeah, I went to California, and I was doing Greyhound. And one of the stops was in Texas. He's in Texas, so he drove like 4 hours to Dallas to see me. So we kind of met up there for like a good, probably 15 minutes, because then I had to get on the bus again. But
what was that like?
Well, it was, for me personally, I'm not really a person that it's too emotional when it comes to things. So I told him, I'm not upset at you, I'm not mad at you. If anything, I'm actually happy that I'm the person that I am today because you weren't there. Even though I wish you were there from the beginning. I don't know how I would be if he was always there for me.
Yeah.
I could have been better, I could have been worse. I don't know. But I don't hold any grudges against him. but at the same time, I'm like, don't expect me to be excited for you, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was cool.
I'm glad you had that closure, though.
Yeah, we still talk, but I mean, yeah, we still talk. He calls me sometimes. I'll call him sometimes, but like I told him, I was like, you are my dad, no matter what. But we're not that close for me to be like emotionally attached to you like that. So
I had the benefit, and I realize a lot of people did not, but I had the benefit of having both parents that were in love and that stayed married until my dad passed. So I had that benefit, and and a lot of my friends did not. They had parents that divorced or were separated, you know, and they came from broken families. So I think to myself, as hard as it was as a young person having both parents, I can't even imagine what it must have been like to not have that support group from both parents, you know, being young. It's hard enough being young, just being young. So.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if it was asked. What made you follow God?
What made me?
Follow God.
I'll tell you what first started. When I was 7 years old, I had found this, it just showed up in our house. I don't know where it was. My parents probably picked it up somewhere. You know, they used to have these pamphlets about God, and people would leave them places, little tracts. And I read it, and it said in it, I was scared to go to hell because it had this, like, they were scary. They had like pictures of people running, and so that started it. And then I was like, well, I don't want to go to hell. And so I was at my bed and I prayed for Jesus to come in my heart, you know, the way it said it in there. And then after that, you know, I talked to God all the time and get closer. And then you just innately, because of knowing God, you'd have this feeling what was right and wrong. And then strayed when I was younger a little bit, but I always knew that God existed. I was never an atheist. I always knew he was there. And then I would come back to him, and then I'd stray and then go to nightclubs, do stuff like that, you know, have premarital sex, which is, you know. And then I'd come back to him, cry out to him, and I'd get closer each time. And then I reached a stage in my life where I was like, Lord, take away all the pain, take away everything, Father. I just want to live for you. At that moment, you spill everything out because you realize that the world it can be a bad place, you know, and you experience so many things and so many emotions. Everyone's different. They experience different things. And then you realize, I can't do this without you, Lord, you know, and then so had some health problems, had a divorce, was married to an abusive man at one time, had an abortion at one time, had 4 miscarriages. We just went through some stuff. My dad got sick. Every time something happened, I would get where some people might get further away from him. I got closer to him. I got on my knees and I relinquished control and I said, I want you to take control of my whole life, everything. I don't want to make a decision without you, Lord. And from then on, it started being, things weren't always happy because, you know, there's not always happiness when you follow God. God never promised that. He never promised us happiness. But there is a joy inside, an inner joy, knowing that whatever happens, bad or good, he's always going to be there. And I realized I had to do my part. I had to read his word, talk to people. And that's where my weakness is reading the word. Because you get busy and then you just make excuses. And I realized I'd see these street preachers on TV and on Facebook, and I'd be like, you know, the reason I can never do that is because I don't know your word, Lord. And these people know your word inside and out. And that's my weakness. And so now that's my goal. But I realized my life is much better with God in it, knowing that he's there. And knowing that I'm saved. And knowing that I have him there. And going through all this mess and coming to the realization that he was always there in the background waiting for me. Because God doesn't force people. God is a gentleman. He waits for people to come to him. You know, he doesn't want robots. So I realized I have to relinquish control to you, Lord. You're not going to force me to do anything. And after that, decisions started becoming easier to make. You know, I took it to him. I started being able to handle my health, handle things that happened in my past, handle life, handle my father's death with him in it. And once you realize that God's there, then you realize, well, if God's there, and he wants the best for us, then why would I want to follow anything but God? you know. So, and then after that, you know, everything started coming a little bit easier as far as my decisions. Now I don't make a decision without him. And now if everything, I told God, if my whole kingdom falls apart, Lord, it would be hard. But if I have you, the one thing that's the most important thing, Lord, that's what I want. You look at everything Job went through. Job questioned God all the time. He went through hell. And he'd always be like, I always thought Job was kind of whiny at the beginning. Because if you read the book of Job, he seems kind of whiny. He's like, why are you doing this to me? Why is this? And I've been that way. Why are you letting this happen to me? Lord, this is too much. I can't handle this. And then you hear his voice on the other end, because you're going to come out better for this. You're going to be stronger, and I need you to be stronger so you can tell the person that's coming through this after you that it's going to be all right, you know. And now I realize I have a lot to say to younger people to help them out, you know, help young girls out, some things. So sometimes he puts us through the fire so that we can come out stronger. So that's why. That was my personal revelation. We have to relinquish control, everything. We like to hold on thinking that God can't see it, these little things. Some people it might be porn, some people it might be premarital sex, some people it might be drugs and alcohol. But we have this thing as humans where we like to hold on to these pieces of ourselves in secret. And we'll relinquish everything else to God, but we'll hold on to this. And I don't think we can fully reap the benefits of everything he has to give until we learn to relinquish that, you know. So, hey. No.
We're recording a podcast.
You got to change better?
Yeah.
We're recording a podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Let me change this battery.
This plant reel is kind of nice. Oh, it is. It's a bonsai.
I have no idea what it is.
That's a bonsai.
I think we got it at Lowe's.
It's nice. Yeah. The decor in here is nice. How that affects people.
Quick note, it says, phenomenology is a philosophy of experience. For phenomenology, the ultimate source of all meaning and value is the lived experience of human beings.
Mm-hmm.
All philosophical systems, scientific theories, or aesthetic judgments have the status of abstractions from the ebb and flow of the lived world.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's like even those two people that you just mentioned, I think it's your husband, right?
It's his father, yeah.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure the slightest thing could have happened to him where he had a bad experience and led him to develop some kind of thoughts, while your father-in-law, right, had a good one.
Yeah, he had. I mean, they were poor growing up, and they had rough lives. In fact, he was kicked out when he was 16 of his house. Dave's dad, they were both kicked out. But I think he went to Vietnam and he became a pilot. His brother killed someone and went to jail. It's interesting. It's just, you're right, it's interesting. You know, a lot of serial killers say when they first started, let's not take this there.
Goodbye.
All right, then. I won't keep you much longer.
Okay.
I know you gotta go. I'm actually gonna use this one because that one, the battery was there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this podcast. Dinah, can you give us your social links?
Yes.
And I put a description on the.
Okay, so fab5fitness.com. Simple as that. Fab, the number 5, and fitness.com will take you to one of our websites. Also on Facebook, Boone Trail Fit. Well, on Instagram, at Boone Trail Fit. Facebook, just look up Boone Trail Fit Body Boot Camp. You'll see us on there. Our name will change soon to BuzzFit. Yep, BuzzFit Boot Camp. Okay, and then what else? Am I missing anything? I think that's.
Yeah.
I think I got all that. So I think we're good. So.
All right. Any last words, Miguel?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode.